It's been a while since Game of Thrones finished its divisive final season, and even longer since the on-screen deaths of some of the show's most beloved characters. While the HBO franchise has continued with House of the Dragon, a prequel series exploring the Targaryen dynasty, many of the show's stars have scattered across the worlds of film and TV, and even beyond. While some Game of Thrones alumni have made notable appearances in some of the biggest movies and TV shows of the past few years, others have done a lot less mainstream work in the years since the finale aired. For some, Game of Thrones may have just been the start of their careers, whilst others merely added the show to a long and storied filmography. There are even some supporting characters on Game of Thrones who had their turns as leading men and women in their most recent projects. In case you've been wondering where the iconic stars of Game of Thrones have been since the show aired, or, for some of them, since their character's last appearance, look no further. To quote House Stark, "The lone wolf may die, but the pack survives." There's a reason fandoms often allude to Sean Bean frequently dying on screen, and it might have something to do with Game of Thrones. The English actor gained notoriety for roles in GoldenEye and The Lord of the Rings, The Fellowship of the Ring, but Bean ended up being the first choice by the showrunners of Game of Thrones to lead their first season as Eddard Ned Stark. Unfortunately, as fans of Game of Thrones know, Ned doesn't live past the first season, yet the consequences of his death reverberate throughout the rest of the show, even though Bean never reprises his role. Since his run on Game of Thrones in 2011, Bean has been involved in over 15 television shows and over 20 feature films, including big-screen hits like The Martian and Wolf Walkers, as well as small-screen successes like Snowpiercer, pictured above right, and Time, winning his second BAFTA for the latter. Outside of film and TV, Bean also lent his voice as a narrator to the video game Sid Meier's Civilization VI, as well as its DLC expansions.